This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of October 16th, 2017. We are entering our first full week with Jupiter in the sign of Scorpio for the first time in 12 years. Now, the rise of social media has spread news about this particular transit much more quickly than 12 years ago. And if you float about online, you are going to see that this is some massive bliss fest with Jupiter being in Scorpio. Oh, to the contrary, let me be the voice of truth and reason here, and we will see it this week when Jupiter in Scorpio has its first conjunction with Mercury, the planet of communication. Jupiter makes anything bigger that it touches, and it is in the rawest, earliest portion of the waters of the deep, which hold all of the stuff we do not want to show in public. Some of it is treasure, some of it is kind of scary, and some of it is simply irrational or batshit, oops, I didn't say that, did I? Crazy. The Mercury-Jupiter conjunction on the 17th, which is building on Monday, is going to stir up all of these things. Now, it will probably lead to some really perceptive moments, to X-ray vision, to phenomenal telepathy, for perceiving undercurrents, reading them really accurately, maybe having a profoundly intimate and revealing conversation or three. But it's also going to bring a lot of secrets to the surface, a lot of really nasty, icky stuff to the surface, things we don't normally talk about in polite company. But as you may have noticed, in the last year to year and a half of our public discourse, there's very little that people are hiding behind closed doors anymore. So perhaps we won't be shocked by some of what comes out. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be repulsive or crazy. Lot more sex scandal talk, for starters. Which, if you think about it, is really a story of power plays. This conjunction leads us into the Libra new moon on the 19th. The new moon in the sign of relationships. You probably know that every new moon starts a 4-week cycle. This one has a big undercurrent of finishing a cycle that started in 2010, because this new moon is in exact opposition to Uranus, the troublemaker, the Molotov cocktail thrower, the advocate for alternative viewpoints, the agent of radical change, liberation, and in the sign of the individual. So we have that kind of energy directly facing down a new moon in relationship central, truly heightening the tension, the challenge of being absolutely yourself, maintaining your true self when you connect in a close one-on-one relationship. This has been lit up all year long by Jupiter, the guy who ups the ante of every action that he goes through. He had the same aspect at the end of September. Something broke loose. Now we assimilate it. Now we process it. Now our relationships start to really noticeably move around in response to our need, impulse, demand, non-negotiable of being who we truly are. Out of context, that sounds so trite, but think about it. We are brought up to position ourselves to be desirable to other people, to play the relationship game, to do things because we think that's what the other person wants, and to downplay our own needs and desires just to stay in a connection with someone. Well, all of that has been blown up in the last few years. The notion of putting up with or tolerating has gone out the window, and we are increasingly aware of who we really are, what we really need, and of who gets and fuels our inner flame, who's bored by it, who doesn't see it, and who is standing there with a bucket of water trying to put it out. This new moon contains a doorway into an updated model of relationship that matches who we are. The question is, are you going to walk through it? Well, pretty much every influence in the sky is cheering you on to do just that. And then over the weekend, Mars enters relationship central. Venus is already there. Venus, the ruler of love, desire, everything we value, creativity, money. Venus has been hanging out in her home base, and now Mars, her lover, her handyman, the ruler of our drive, is going into her home as well. So heart and will together, desire and will together, focused on relationship, but with the challenge of remaining true to yourself in it. And you know what? You really can't backslide. So clearly we are moving into a very different experience of reality from what we've been through for the rest of the year, from what we've been through in the last 5 years, and clearly from what we were brought up with and to expect. Yes, my friends, the future you ordered has arrived. Homing thought of the week: to mine own self be true. Yes, I tinkered with it. Song of the week, Lucky Number by Lena Lovitch, and you have to listen to it to find out why, because it's not inherent in the title. And the image of the week is the old game from the late 60s called Mystery Date, when you would open the door for your mystery date and see who was waiting for you. You will find more information about all this in my forecast for the Libra new moon, which is already posted at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and find out how this all affects you personally by booking a session with me. Talk to you next week.